And good morning and welcome to Touch Base today. I forgot to put the mic system on. So I think you can hear me, but I'm gonna do one little thing, and that is move from here for a moment. And let me just get this stuff here. You would think I was rushing inside here, rushing to the apartment, and oh, so many things, so many things. There we go. Okay. So sorry about that. And I had to get the mic system. That way you can hear me much better than you would if without it. Okay. And I hope everyone's doing well on this wonderful day. I heard there was snow in New York City again. And also here in Paris, no snow, just simple, beautiful blue skies. And and I am glad that so far this trip has been a good call in every direction. We've been here. I should say I landed in Lisbon, escaping a storm that was here that flooded the region, and we got here as the cleanup was going on, and they finished cleaning up, pretty much cleaning up stuff, and then had a Okay, here we go. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No.
Nothing? Really? Okay. Yes. Now you can hear me? Now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. My producer let me know all is well. Thank you. So I did all that talking and you didn't hear anything I was saying. But there's a producer in the house. Thank you. The producer said, Ron, there's no sound. We can't hear you. So luckily there's a producer. Now you can hear me. Producer Adrian to the rescue. So I was sharing, I forgot what I was. Oh, so I was at my friend's house. Let me just take this off. I was at my friend's house in La Défense area of here in Paris. So it's on the other side, which is pretty much like Long Island City is to New York City, where it's Paris is this is Paris. This is where the business takes place, lots of, but there are skyscrapers in Le de France. So she lives near there, which is a really nice area. I was like, ooh, I was like, Jessica, you live in a really cool area. So we got to hang out, surprise our friend in Mexico City. We got to do that, did a little video. I posted some of that on our in the story. She posted it. I reposted it on my stories, and we had a great time. We just had a great time. A little champagne. She popped the champagne because I had arrived, and she is kind of like she's a foregoer forebearer, as they say. I guess you can say that's the best word because she is here and she lives in Astoria, Queens, but she also lives here in Paris, and so she is here, and I could not come to Paris and not see her, and we may get together later on. So let's say good morning to some folks. I see there's people in the building. Let's start out the gate. The gate starting is the gold goes to Hannah. She says I should say goodbye. She said I should say good afternoon. That's right. It is good afternoon. But here in Paris, it is 5:38. I am closing in on my evening. The sun is about to set in a little about in less than an hour. Representing the Yankees in Paris. Yes, I ended up buying a Yankee hat in Paris because I forgot to pack one of my caps. And you need to have a cap. You can't always have your knit hats. You got to have a cap. So, and the person with the bronze is our wonderful Chris R. She's in the building. And I'm going to send invitations in case those folks that are usually here on Wednesdays wants to show up. They probably didn't know I was going to come on, but I still will send the invitation out to my folks. And I just want to always make sure that I'm here so that way they don't sacrifice their days if they don't have to be here. So here, I'm going to send this to Gwendolyn if she wants to come on. I don't know. I think Chris may be busy, but we'll see if Chris is not busy or busy. I'll send out to Chris, and I will send to our Elise. And anyone else that wants to be on here, you're more than welcome to. And just you have to let me know your email so I can get there, or you can let me set up the screen so you can scan the QR code if you're interested in doing that. But yeah, so the bronze goes to our wonderful Chris R. She says, good morning. And so we lost our audio. Okay, got that. Hi, Ron. Says Kimmy Kim is in the building all the way from Philadelphia. And so we did the mic check. We did the mic check. Okay. And Brandon is in the building. Brandon is in the building. He says morning. Good morning. G says good day all. And so we got the muting situation set. Okay, we got that. But at least I know you guys are out there telling me, Ron, we can't hear you. Bryson is in the building. He says, what's up, Hannah? And but thank God for the producer and Mr. Adrian. It's a family affair. And so we have here also in the building. Hey, Charlene is in the building. What's going on, Shirley? We can hear you now. Yes, she says. Miss Shirley is in the building. And also, and this is Shuck. How do I say this? How do I say? I always Shucklady. Am I saying it right? Shucklady. Shukla Devin. Okay, Shukla Devin. And hi, bro. He says, Okay, I want to make sure I say it right. And we got loved by everyone is in the building. And okay, everyone's here. So, like I said, I was traveling. I made my way through most of these travels, missing the bad weather. So we missed when we landed in Portugal and Lisbon. We had just missed by 2 weeks the great floods, literally the great floods. Everything was flooded in many parts of Portugal. And then but then we had sunny weather for the whole trip in Portugal. We went to Lisbon, and then we spent 2 days in Porto, and then arrived back into Lisbon, and the weather was even better on our second when we got back to Lisbon. And then I arrived here in Paris, and it was cloudy and rainy. And then the next day, blue skies. And I couldn't do anything when I landed. It was already 5 o'clock in the evening. I was like, okay, it's time to go to sleep. And so I have to tell you, the angels are watching. That's all I can say is the angels are watching over my itinerary and making sure I have beautiful weather, maximizing my time in these locations. And Paris has lived up to its reputation. I only have one friend that said he did not enjoy Paris. And I was like, well, you just haven't enjoyed it with me. Oh, you haven't enjoyed it with the right people. Paris is a wonderful place. I had a dinner with one of my buddies, online buddy that I met in 2019. We finally connected yesterday, had dinner, met me at the Eiffel Tower. We had dinner. We had a great time. And so hopefully we'll continue to connect. I am also maybe going to meet him in Senegal some in the future. We'll see how that works out. And but man, I'm enjoying all of this. You know, Jessica today, I went to visit my Jessica. She is, like I said, from Astoria, Queens, and she lives here now, and in between two countries, New York and here, and kind of like the same kind of. If I decide to live outside of America, it'll be the same kind of plan: living in America and living outside of America. So. Much good advice, and I am so thankful to her. And so you'll check out our crazy post on my Ron Lewis photos on Instagram. Speaking of the Instagrammers, but also I want to bring in my work wife is in the building. She's in the building, and I sent the other invitations out, but people probably don't even know I'm here. They probably don't even know I'm coming on. But I said I'll be here today. I will be here, and you see I'm getting more the schedule is getting more consistent. So I'm now understanding my schedule. So trying to get back to our 11 o'clock in the morning, because 11 o'clock in the morning is technically 5 o'clock here. And so that works out. Okay, here's Miss G is in the building. Hello, G.
Good morning.
Good morning, and I'm
did
saying
you
good
forget that
evening.
you told me? You said, hey, I'm going live at 11 o'clock. Hopefully you can be there with me. We had this conversation.
11
I
o'clock.
guess I should be ready.
Yes, that's right. So you were ready. You were ready. And so it has been, like I said, the traveling has been, now I'm catching up. Vivian was like, I think you probably are suffering from jet lag. Because I was like,
yeah,
it's like erratic and couldn't get my time. And then when I left Lisbon, I did something that very foolish. There was this, I went to the store to get something to eat, grabbed a drink that looked like it was, well, regular drinking something. It said apple cider on it. However, I took it to the hotel, drank the apple cider. It was delicious. Then I felt a little like wired after. And I ended up that this apple cider was like a Red Bull, which you do not need before you're going to bed to try to be up early for your airplane flight out of the out the country. And I was so wired. I could not sleep. I had no sleep. So when I arrived here on Sunday evening, I crashed. But it was an innocent apple cider. What's up, Chris?
Good morning, sir.
He made it. He got the call.
I saw the bat signal went up, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta answer the call."
The bat signal went up.
And there's my other partner in crime. We did
Yes,
Dr. Tashi's show last night,
and I missed it. And and it's so funny because I swore that it said on my calendar the 25th, February 25th, but it was February 24th.
Well, the good thing is it's on replay.
Well, yeah, it was the 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're ahead.
Yes. So you know what? It probably showed up. You know what? It showed up on my screen.
Yeah. It would have been midnight for you. It would have been midnight for you. Yeah.
Yes, that's why.
Come on, time zones.
It's like so Gwendolyn is in the chat while I'm zooming through Paris. And I said, hey, I'll check you out tonight. I can't wait to see you and Dr. Tachi and all y'all on the panel. And she was like, that was last night.
Yes, I said you're a day early and a day late at the same time. Like what? Yeah. It's cool.
I was like, okay, that explains a whole lot. And but yeah, so there you have it. I learned also that when I'm applying for my notifications are in this time zone versus the other time zone. It's amazing what technology will do. But I missed out on Dr. Tachi, Gwendolyn. Chris, were you on the panel as well, right?
Yeah, Ronald.
And there was one more person that I'm missing. It was Ronald. That's right. Yeah. It was Ronald. And so how was it? How did it go? What did y'all talk about? I know that, you can tease people that in this community about what you saw, what you did last night so they can go and see it.
Yeah, so we talked about the whole Top Model docuseries, the three-parter that we had talked about on Ronald's podcast last weekend. But I think we went a little bit deeper into it. And also, it's always good to have even more people to discuss with, because I looked at the documentary a little bit differently last night after our discussion. And even after we went off the air, we spoke for another like half an hour behind the scenes, and we were just like discovering new things that we didn't even notice and interpreted this whole series a little bit differently. It's very interesting to really look back at this show and see what it meant to us then and what it means now. And then the other thing we walked away from this was that we think that this was bad. The E series is coming up next month. It's going to be 100 times worse because you have a lot of the models. Yeah, you have a lot of the models that weren't involved in the Netflix series, and I think they have a lot more to say. And I think they're going to be a lot more unfiltered. I think that the way that show is going to be edited is going to be way different than the way that Netflix edited this series.
Yeah, I was chatting with Dr. Tachi this morning, and we both said we should have recorded our conversation after.
We should have.
There was so many.
It was really good.
So many nuggets.
Really.
But you cannot help but like sit and think about it. And it is a different lens. We're in a different time. When you know better, ideally you should do better. But I keep going back to a place of not everybody that we see as our hero is a fighter. They're just not. And I find that all of those girls, because they were teenagers or 20-something, they really did have this idea that Tyra would be a protector. One, she's a woman. Okay, she's a woman. And then two, you're thinking, hey, she's coming to change the game. So if anything happens, she's going to be there to protect me. And that just wasn't there. It just was not. But I keep going back to not everybody's a fighter. I know for myself, and I talk about this a lot, that I am quick to walk away from something and burn something down.
Yeah.
But I've done it. Like I've had it I've had those situations since like a senior in high school, right? A senior in high school, my very first job. I don't know how many times I have said, I am going to choose my values and what I believe in versus playing the game. Not everybody's built that way. Not everybody's
Yeah.
built. Then you get
Very
somebody
true.
like
Can I say
Sarah, who I thought she had it, and that was not the case.
So
Wow.
here's something. You said something just now that made me think a little bit deeper and think about it in a different way. Now that she's a mother, do you think that she thinks about that differently and just didn't say anything about it?
You know, I know that Ron's in Paris, right? And so I almost said something really quick, but I was like, let me not do it. But I'm gonna say
we don't know the rules in Paris.
I don't know. We don't know the rules. No, I don't think it's changed because you would like we often say, surely you as a father would feel a certain way now that you have daughters. No, if you're a misogynist, that doesn't change because you have daughters. That's there. If anything, you're teaching your daughter, this is your spot. This is where you go. So no, I don't think it's changed how she sees. I mean, she had a chance to talk about what she wanted to do and what happened and take responsibility. She was the executive producer. We cannot act like that's just some menial something. That's a major
That's a major role.
It's a major role. And instead of her saying, I don't want people to go through what I went through as a model, be spoken to a certain way, be treated a certain way, be the other in the room.
Yeah.
She chose to double down on it and make it entertainment. No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to just stay on mute. Know when to stay on mute. And I have one more thing before I turn it over. I remember learning a verse. It was a quote that someone gave to me that we are all the villain in someone's story. You may not know it. You may not know that you have wronged somebody, but just know that there may be somebody out there who's like, you know what, that Gwendolyn, she did me dirty. And if you're lucky to hear it, then you can, for whatever reason, if you want to, atone for that. Be like, you know what, you are right. I was wrong in that situation. These people, her included, they are the villains in a lot of people's stories. And you know it. And you're choosing not to say, we were really jacked up.
Yeah.
Wow. This sounds like a good conversation last night.
Oh, it was. And I think a lot of people are having these conversations now that this whole docuseries has been brought up, and it's not going to die down anytime soon because of the fact that E has their version coming out now as well.
Wow. So did anyone in this community watch the State of the Union last night?
I was not giving this man eyes. I watched like Don Lemon a little bit.
Don Lemon,
as they were playing it. There was no they were playing it, but there wasn't any sounds. I just don't want to give him any type of credit for anything. He does not deserve our attention.
Exactly. Christine, Miss Waters, Representative Waters said that she was not going and she was not representing her people for the Orange Man. So I was like, okay. Well, some folks did not show up. A lot of folks did not, and 5 of the justices did not go.
Yeah.
I am speechless because I really am speechless. I am literally, and this is not a joke, this is not being facetious. I really want to understand how we are at a place where we are openly allowing the most mediocre sons of bitches to just be on television, talk about ridiculous. I would love to find this $1.85 gas because my gas is running $3.55 right now.
Where is it?
Right? Like it's running $3.55 here. Okay. So I'm just like, and then people actually like stand up and clap for that. It's like, I want to understand that are we so miserable in our lives? Are we so unaware of how we don't measure up that when you get around other people who are just like you and just as mediocre, you can't help but celebrate the mediocreness? That's the word today.
They are.
Like, is that what we do? Because I didn't watch it. Of course, we were live.
Yes,
but
you guys
I would not watch it. That man has done nothing. He can't even get the words out. And the little clips I saw where he's like, "Oh my God, we're winning! I can't help but win! And oh, we're so hot!" What the what? And this is what you want us to measure up to because Black folks don't. What? Really?
So
Listen.
So here's a question. What do you think? Okay, go ahead, Chris. Before I ask
No,
the
I was
question.
going to say, like, he's giving the Medal of Freedom to a hockey player who's sitting right next to a veteran. Like, come on now. Come on now.
No,
It's laughable.
It's all laughable.
It's laughable.
I was almost tempted since I was in Paris. I was almost tempted to do man on the street, kind of like go to people and start talking to them.
They could care less.
They don't care.
But I've talked to some people that live here, and they have totally written off America. It's like, oh, America. It's like no one's even thinking about what's going on here because they've already like, what's happening over there is ridiculous, and we can't believe what's happening. And I talk to I get into conversations with my drivers for my Ubers and here at Bolt, and all of them are like, it's America. Oh, don't know how you guys are doing with it, and we move on to the next subject. And
Laughing stock.
Yeah. So what do you think folks were doing last night when instead of watching it,
living their lives?
They were watching paint dry. They were like, watching this paint dry is so much more entertaining and fulfilling than that, because it's just so there really are no words. But I go back to it. How did we get here? I know it's a question that's like semi-rhetorical, but when I think about all the other people, and I don't even want to use excellence because that's not it, just regular educated people in positions who knew what they were talking about, who could speak clearly and get thoughts across, there was a certain level that we were known for. Mm-hmm. And America was known for. I'm watching videos about China and their automobiles, and I kept thinking, imagine where we could be in terms of technology if we didn't have such selfish, mediocre, ego-focused people in certain positions. We could actually be someplace. Imagine what our kids could be like, but half of them can't read past a third grade level. But our education is now about trying to, and no offense to anybody's religion, mine included, but you're so worried about the 10 Commandments, but they can even freaking read the Bible. They can't read like, I just want to know why and for what.
China and the rest of the world are so technologically advanced in us. Like China, speaking of the cars, their cars are like 10 to 20 years more advanced than ours. We don't have the infrastructure for the type of vehicles that they're producing right now. It's ridiculous. Like the wireless payment that we're now embracing, they've been doing that like 2 decades ago.
I was talking to Jessica today, and we were talking about the education system, and she was sharing how in the French schools, I mean, first of all, education is free here, and but also the kids were learning Chinese, like they were learning Mandarin. I was like, wait a minute, in a French school, the kids not learning American, meaning English, but they were learning. I mean, that's just most people already know English, but they are learning in their regular classes Mandarin. And I was like, really? And it goes to show you the rest of the world, I keep saying is, are moving on. America is just going to be a blip. Its existence in history will be a blip. And I know a lot of my American friends get upset with me when I say that. But the writing is on the wall. The rest of the world.
But you're speaking the truth.
On. May I add something? I have a two-part thought here, right? Because it's part of his conversation, and America sucks at having conversations. We really do believe this kumbaya thing. It's like, well, everybody's here, but there's a reason why you have all these elephants in the room, because you don't want to talk about what you need to talk about. And we have not talked about some stuff. So I know recently they talked about getting rid of diversity and equity and inclusion in the FAA because we don't want pilots who aren't qualified. Let me tell you something real quick. When I got that drone pilot, I had to pass the Part 107 test. I took my class from a pilot to simply fly an unmanned machine, a drone. Do you understand the work that goes into understanding different airspaces and the way the wind blows and the different patterns of the plane? Because I have to fly a drone and operate around planes and helicopters. That test was not easy. Don't tell me that the people who are flying your plane got the job just because of the color of their skin. That's that foolishness right there. That's some stupid stuff right there.
Yep.
But if you're not in it, if you don't believe in education or science, it is easy for you to say, they only got it because of their gender or because of their ethnicity. No, that ain't it. It takes some brains. Now, I passed the first time because I am that kind of intelligent, but some other people took it 1 or 2 times. Okay. It's not an easy test to pass. So when you keep throwing out this, oh, it's because there's this, because there's that, it's like, at what point do you realize that's not it? But this is why America won't go past wherever it could go, because we got that. We have that in our way. This really ridiculous lie that people of a certain ethnicity and gender and religion are the ultimate. And this is just like, at what point do y'all realize that ain't it?
But they can't even pass. The ones that are sitting there complaining can't even do it. They can't pass those tests. They're not qualified. They're not educated enough. They don't have common sense.
From someone who actually took his FAA license here, and knows what those FAA licenses are like to study for, let me tell you, it is not easy. And you get most FAA licenses, when I took them, you took your examination, you took your oral, and you took your practical. You had to take 3, and if you failed 1, you had to go back and go and study to make sure you complete it in a certain time, or you will have to do all 3 again. So I remember my FAA years, and you're right, Gwendolyn. When we used to study what's called FARs, those are the Federal Air Regulations. You had to know about vectors and what they mean, and the different layers of flight and pathways across the country, and because vectors are like highways in the sky. They have numbers just like Interstate 12 or Interstate 10 or Interstate 95, but there's vectors in the sky that are highways in the sky that you study. And you had to learn the vectors between New York City and, let's say, and Philadelphia. It's a lot of work to become a commercial airline pilot. No one just becomes one. And I would even push the thought a little further, is that if you are a person of color and you are behind that cockpit, you probably were under more strenuous had to prove yourself in a way that, because remember, you still had to do what's called the oral exam, which means you had to stand in front of someone or sit in front of someone and explain your answers. And if that person didn't think you had your P's and Q's, you weren't getting through. So I see a question in here. I'm deciphering the question, but it's a good question. Loved by Above says, do you all believe in open borders? I will tell you, I do not believe in open borders. I don't think any country in the world has open borders. What I do believe in is making sure everyone is taken care of fairly, and also that we take care of, it is our constitutional right, and it is also people that come to this country's constitutional right to be treated fairly and equally under the Constitution. So I do believe in the Constitution. And yes, so that's my point. Anyone else want to jump in and add the answer to, do you believe in open borders?
You know what? As I understand that I am a product of a horrible time in this country, and that we're all on stolen land. I ain't got nothing to say. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, who am I to talk about something when, like, Are we indigenous? Yes, based on my family's history, as I have shared, we know the slave owners. Like we literally have our part of our name on the family website, right? Like it breaks off to show that this is where these are the slaves and the slaves' kids. So I get that. So I'm indigenous to a certain extent to this, but we own stolen land. So you gonna come to somebody's house and say, "Well, can't nobody else come in." Oh, that's interesting, but whatever.
Yeah, and
That
also that
part.
person also has another question that says, "Do you believe in a person who is suffering dementia and other using the auto pen?" Honest question. So I hear your question, and it's an honest question. I'm glad you felt free to this safe space to ask this question. First of all, we do not have any evidence, medical evidence, that Biden had dementia or any other person that would be able to use an auto pen. As we also know, auto pens are no different from ink pens. Now, there are some laws in certain states that you have to use ink. There are laws in certain states. However, I don't care if it's a auto pen or a ink pen. If someone signs it with the intention of signing it to put something into law, I am with it 100%. See, what's up, Rosemary? What's they refuse to relieve it. And okay, so we got and okay, was in land borders, but that goes against all your conditions. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so there you have it. Those are good questions. So what do you guys, well, first of all, is spring around the corner or what?
I pray that it comes fast. I'm over it. So here in Delaware this morning when I got up, we had snow flurries.
Sometimes it snows in April.
Yes, I know.
I told one of my dear friends, I said to him, he said, "Oh, I think winter's over." I said, and guess what happened? Snowstorm. And then I told him, I said, "This reminds me of the snow years when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When we had snow into April."
Yep.
So I remember we had a snow in March and a snow in April after having back-to-back storms in February. That was the norm back in the old days. And and we're back to somehow we're back to the old days, at least for this year. So winter is going to be around for a while.
I will say this: they predicted this last summer, and it has really come to pass. Like they said that we're going to have a really bad winter and expect a lot of snow, and we've had several snowstorms this year. And I mean, New York, my parents on Long Island got over 2 feet of snow. Thank God that there was a guy walking that he normally does the people across the street. My mom was able to hail him down and say, "Hey, how much you charge?" Because there's no way that they were able to do that on their own. And they were like, they couldn't open the door. That type of snowed in.
Well, Long Island got 28.5 inches of snow.
Yeah.
28. That's almost 30 inches of snow. Also, here's a question we can pop into. Bryson mentions, he says, has everybody saw the BAFTAS the BAFTAs Sunday night when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were giving our best visual effects and call out the racial slur? And then I heard that someone had the what do they call it? What's the syndrome? It starts with a T.
Tourette's. All right, here it is. He had Tourette's. And before the show, they had said that there was a nominee that was in the audience, that was in the front area, that had Tourette's. And people who have Tourette's tend to have outbursts, and just know that that's what that was. But here's the problem. And there's two parts of it, because some more information came out today. So when they were presenting that award, the person who had Tourette's screamed out the N-word. I'm not going to say
the N-word.
Yes. The N-word. Now, that isn't so much the problem. The problem was that show was on an hour delay.
2 hours.
2 hour delay. And they chose not to edit it out, but yet come back later after the backlash and say, we apologize for that, when they had the opportunity. But now here's the thing: it has come out that Alan Cummings, who was hosting the show, who was an openly gay man, that guy who had Tourette's had used a homophobic slur, and that was edited out. So the question is, why was one edited out versus not the other? And why did you choose to apologize after a fact when you knew you had time to go back and edit this? It's not like no one knew that it happened because they came on stage and apologized about it. Why not take it out? You had 2 hours. This was not live. This was a 2-hour delay.
And this wasn't even usually most shows are 10-minute or 5-minute delay.
No, you typically get like a 30-second delay when most broadcasts, here in the States at least, when they do broadcasts, there's typically like a 30-second delay in order to be able to catch those type of things.
Yeah. But yeah, and so the question is, I did hear parts of that story. And the people were saying, and now why did this get through when the other words did not get through? Selective outrage, selective crazy, selective passing through. I see Adrian says Warner Brothers came to them and said it was a problem twice and they were ignored. Wow. So I didn't see it. Did anyone actually see the awards beside Bryson?
No, I saw the clips of that.
Right. Wow.
And here's the thing we have to recognize the BAFTAs are the equivalent of the American Oscars. So it's not like a little show that no one knows about. This is huge. This is international.
Gotcha.
I agree with Kimmy. It was a choice. It was a choice to air it and make it seem as if it's not that big a deal. And then the apology that was given was not given to the presenters. It was given to if anyone was offended, just understand this guy has this syndrome. Give him some grace. Give him some understanding. You know, that editing tool is pretty powerful. It really is. It's really powerful. You're asking the presenters and all the viewers to extend this grace to this guy. It's like, okay, what he has that was given to him from the good Lord, can't control that. But your pen, your editing decisions, you can control that.
Absolutely.
Most certainly can. You consciously chose not to.
Yep.
Wow. So I didn't get a chance to. And I was like, this is an interesting conversation piece. So what else is going on that I'm missing? Because interesting, a lot of the news is not seen here unless I'm looking at the BBC. And I have been following the Epstein story. And the Epstein story is quite fascinating from this side of the...
It keeps unraveling.
Because
now...
Go ahead, Chris. No,
now it's come out that the FBI had removed whole sections of Mr. Orangeface actually raping and abusing a child.
Yes. So
sexually assaulting, excuse me.
Yeah, sexual assault. Yeah. So or essay, or that's on YouTube is essay.
Oh, good Lord, the restrictions.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Sorry, guys, on the YouTube people, it's essay, but then there's also, because of that story, they are realizing that I think it's a reporter or someone that had a story in the past that now they're matching the stories together and saying, wait a minute, the person that was in that story, which they know is Trump, is now matches this story that's happening now. And now they're trying to get those things, make sure everything is aligned, because his name is not mentioned.
Oh, no, it does align. They've done, before they released that story, they did all the fact checking and they cross-referenced. Okay. Yes, and that's why they were able to go and say with confidence, is that me or you? Oh, that's sorry. That's me. Sorry about that. And I have no control over this one because this is Ronald's laptop. See, now he's got a Mac, so everything's connected. So when his phone rings, it goes off over here too.
Really?
Yeah. So, but no, everything's verified, and that's why they put it out there. They said this is a verified story that we've done our due diligence on. Because I know that they were on like MSN or MS Now, and I saw it on there. And I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it
No,
should surprise no
none of
one.
us are surprised. This guy is. You cannot have almost what 100 plus women accuse a man of sexual something, right? Some kind of sexual, essay, and then the people he runs around with, everyone in this circle is a part of this behavior. I mean, it was just another I was a senator of another state or that was just arrested for pedophile or something situation, and you're like,
It was the judge.
why? Was it the judge?
It was the judge that was in charge of the case where the white young man went into the church and shot up the black church. He was literally just arrested.
All of these people are connected.
Yes.
Now, when
they're all deplorables.
They're well, just like Hillary said, the deplorables. They're all in the deplorable basket. But over here, people are really concerned about all of this. The public here is concerned, but they're also very proud of their countries and the corporations here who are literally, people are getting arrested here. People are getting arrested in UK. People are getting arrested in all these different places, losing their positions, losing their jobs, going to jail. I mean,
for just having associations with the person, not actually. They might not have committed crime, but just the fact that they associated themselves with them.
I was thinking that, Ron, before you said it, I was thinking that it's interesting how in other countries, people, as you say, have been arrested, are being held accountable. And here in this country, where some of us talk so big about being responsible and family values and doing what's right and law and order, except when it comes to children and abusing children and being in that particular ring. Yeah. We said it last time. There are laws still out here that allow you to marry a child. Still. We know that in certain states, if there is any kind of incest, it's like, those are just basic family things. Everybody does it. What's the big deal? Literally. Now in California, you will do some time. In some other states and territories, it's like maybe a fine of $300 to $500. Maybe.
Crazy.
Because it's just, I researched this 2 years ago. That's why I say it, because it's like, okay, this is what we believe in. This is what America, hate to say it, stands for. There's a lot of this until you realize who it involves. And think about how many times we have had these scandals. It was the Boy Scouts. It was the preachers. Yes. It was, how many times have we talked about it?
Olympic athletes.
And there's this whole deal of protecting the women, protecting the children. From whom? The predators? Those people? The judges? The judges who are giving sentences and all the while doing the same thing. I'm sorry.
But I have to say, the rest of the world is definitely taking matters. And it's also said that because of the investigations going on in the UK and also I think here in France and a bunch of other European nations, because these people are also the ones that are in their countries that are connected to the Epstein files, it requires them also here to do these investigations that are in depth that the FBI in America is, not sharing or erasing and all other stuff like that. I think that story broke with the NPR. But here, they don't play that. There's no connection to trying to cover the president of the United States. So they're going all in. And they say when they learn the information, they will share that information with the public.
No, so I think that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the rest of the world to shame us into taking action.
Is it? I mean, I'm sorry. He's a felon. Everybody else knows that if you
I'm not talking about him. I think that, because listen, let me tell you something. There will come a time when he was no longer here.
Okay.
And when that happens, all that stuff is going to have to come out.
Anyway.
What you
Does it
do in
change
the dark
anything?
will come to the... Yes and no.
I mean, okay, so here's my point. We as regular people know that if you have a felony on your record, you're not getting a job, and you can. It's going to be really hard. It's hard to get a home, an apartment. It's hard to get
the
a lot of
presidency.
things. This country said, you know what? It's just a couple. I mean, like, it's just 34.
It's just 34.
It's just 34. No, he doesn't pay people what he owes them. Yeah, he's got a little bit of racist streak in him. But, like, you know, it could be worse. It could be worse. Let's vote for that guy.
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah.
The number one grifter in the world.
But again, and if you have all of these victims have been essayed for years, decades by these people, there are lots of people that have been involved. And why hasn't this FBI, this justice system here in America, has arrested anyone? Not one.
Because it involves too many quote unquote people that have too much high status, that have money. I mean, we already know that there are a lot of high profile people that are in this. The quote unquote leader of the free world is included in this. And I mean, it's all covered up. It will eventually come out somewhere.
It's coming out. It will definitely come out. Let's see, the last thought. And so now we're on a, Bryson says, best supporting actors and Ryan Coogler. Yeah, I mean, this was interesting that Sinners is now the number one nominated film in history. Am I correct in hearing that?
I believe it has 16 nominations total.
Yeah. Okay, and I see in the building, Rashawn is in the building. Look who's in the building.
Hey,
Rashawn is here, and okay, I see that's some sad. Yeah. So as we close, I am in Paris, and so I'm sitting here like, okay, let me tell you, it's so good to not have the news on all the time. I don't see the news unless I really want to see it.
And hold on, let me tell you something. You're halfway around the world. Why should you be worried about what the fuck is going on here?
Exactly.
Enjoy your life over there, my friend. Do what the Parisians do.
It is feeling good. I was like, I'm gonna have to rely on the community to tell me what's going on, because I have really no idea. I mean, obviously the major news is spreading here as well, but there's other news oblivious.
Well, hold on. One more thing before you wrap up. Because this kind of touched us a little bit, because Ronald's birthday is coming up and we were planning to go to Mexico. Mexico is in turmoil. I mean, Puerto Vallarta, they killed a drug kingpin, the military, and just set off a whole bunch of crap. And it didn't just affect that local area; it spread across. Because Puerto Vallarta is on the Pacific side of the country, and then like Cancun is in the I was gonna say Mediterranean, in the Caribbean Sea portion on the other side. And it's affected all of Mexico. There was shelter in place, especially if you're an American, just stay in your hotel, because they were specifically looking for people to just grab up and take hostage. So I think it's kind of calmed down a little bit as of today. But like the State Department was telling people, do not travel there, be careful, be mindful, and just basically shelter in place.
Okay. And on a lighter note, back to Paris. So
sorry.
No. That was good, because I posted that this morning, because Vivian, she shared that with me. She was like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" Well, it happened yesterday, and we saw the news coming across. And she has a travel agent, so and so it came across her feed, and I was like, "Oh wow!" So I was thinking about my friend today, Stefan, who's in Mexico City, but so far they're safe over there. But so I've been posting a lot. I have never posted so much in my life, and never have I gotten so much content that I haven't even posted that yet. But I'm finding I am now getting my rhythm and getting my groove. So it's coming. I'm getting I'm trying to. Gwendolyn says something very important to me before I left, and she says, "Ron, enjoy the moments, live in the moment, stay in the moment, be in the moment." And so I've been doing that. And but then also I'm finding now I'm able to post more in the moment and then keep moving on and doing what I'm doing. And so I'm getting better at it. So my question to you as the community, what would you like to see more of or less of? So that way, if I can hear from you, I mean, if you have nothing to share, that's okay too. But I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you would like to see about travels. And I've been learning some interesting um, I'm learning some interesting cultural differences about Americans and here. Um, one of the most fascinating things about uh, being here in Paris, I am always, every time I come to Paris, I am always intrigued by books. Books everywhere. People read here, and I am just like blown away that there are books on every like there's a bookstore almost on every corner, every other corner, every it's like going grocery shopping, but it's for books.
It's called
It's on the
culture.
side, it's on the side streets. I mean, books are sold everywhere. And not only are they sold, like when you walk by all the cafes, and I was mentioning this in my one of my lives, is I love the way all the cafes are set up because you have like these group cafe seatings in the back, but the people that are in the front are literally set up like they're in a theater watching the people. One thing about Paris that I really love because I am a people watcher is that it is set up around the country, well, at least around the city here in Paris, to people watch. And I find that to be the most fascinating thing to just I do that when I'm in New York, but it's really nice to see it. Everyone's doing it here. So that's one thing that I learned while being here. Gwendolyn, were you going to say something?
Yeah, well, I would say for a lot of European nations, a lot of those cities, towns are created as communal spaces.
Yes.
The United States does not really have a communal space. New York did create one right in Times Square, so there is that.
Yes.
But when you get to a lot of urban places, rural places, we are so far apart. And it's
Mm.
designed with this individualist idea that if you're walking someplace, you're liable to be walking out someplace by,
Oh, okay, we're back.
whereas everywhere else, there's cafes and there's places to sit and eat and just chat, and it's built for that. But if I may add something that I would like to see, if you are taking requests,
I am taking requests.
I would love to do a thing on like really great chocolates, really great
Ooh.
chocolate.
Oh,
Maybe
that's easy.
maybe some of the bakeries, la boulangerie, you know what I'm saying? Get to like a little bit of pastry in each. You don't have to eat anything, Ron Foster,
Chocolate croissant.
but
You
but
know how I
you
feel about
could.
chocolate.
You could do like just a day out in a certain set, maybe talk about some of the different if you have to have tea or something like that. But I would love to see like a
Yes.
little string of shops and things because it's just a love a good boulangerie.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea. Okay, well,
Or
any other?
do a live from a cafe on the street.
Yes.
I
Like
That's
30
one of the
minutes.
things that I enjoyed when we went last. Was it
Yeah.
the year before? Yeah, that was really like. There's just something about. I know people say it all the time, but there's just something about Paris. Like when you go there, you instantly fall in love with it.
Yeah. Hannah says, great advice, Gwendolyn. Gee, I gotta see your video on ANTM. And also I see Anthony saying people watching and architecture in Paris is my
Yes.
thing. Folks actually socialize there. That is I posted this early and I taped it. I didn't post it yet. I taped it. And what I love about the older people here is you see so many older couples holding hands, holding on to each other as they walk in the mornings. And I remember when I was younger, I used to see it in New York. I don't really see it that much in New York these days. But and what was interesting, when you do see it in America, you usually see the woman holding on to the man's arm. Paris, it doesn't matter.
I agree with
noticed-
you.
I saw men leaning on their spouses or girlfriends or it looks like their wives, because these are older people. And I was like, well, check this out. Something that I don't really see in America, but I see here literally every morning I was in my car driving through the city. You saw people holding hands, women. So let's say the guy was in his wife's arm or the other, and they're just strolling, look like they're going to work or going to someplace. Also, I learned today.
Wait. I'm gonna correct you a little bit, because I'm gonna say couples, because I saw when we were there, we saw all walks of life just loving on one
Yes.
another in public.
Couples.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing I learned here, is that people don't get married here as much as in other places. And I was like, in this conversation, it was because we had this and they said because healthcare is available to everyone. And I never, in America, I do make the connection, but I don't make the connection. But to hear it out loud, that people in America get usually with their spouse so they can get health care or whatever that benefit thing that they need being together. But because the healthcare system is so cheap here and available to everyone, people don't get married as often as in America, but they also but they're together. They're together. And I just found it very fascinating that there's a lot of things I learned today about the baguettes, the bread, that there's certain times of the day you can just go into any bakery and they give them away free. They just give them away. I was like, wait a minute, I did not know this. Why am I finding this out on the last day? Well, it's also in other places in France. So I'll be in the south of France. I leave out for tomorrow for the south of France. And
I want your life.
I'm so excited. I'll be in Montpellier, not
Montpellier.
Mont, but Montpellier. So I'll be there. It's an 800-mile train ride. We're taking the bullet train, which is going to be 3.5 hours.
That you could broadcast or record.
Yeah, that is going to be exciting. I'm like, I cannot wait. I've never been through the countryside, and part of it will go through the mountains. And so that I'm hoping I have some good Wi-Fi, which is usually available on all transportation here in Europe. So it's Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is everywhere.
Just record it and then share your thoughts afterwards. Like, put together a quick little deal of, getting on the train, and then there's a picture of you enjoying a little something, and you're looking out the window and you're seeing this landscape and you're reflecting on, let me stop. I'm doing all the storytelling.
Well, she's the queen of B-roll.
I know. I'm thinking all the B-roll.
She's the B-roll queen. I'm taking notes. B-roll queen is in action right here.
Yeah.
I see here. Let me just make sure I go through these. People watching the architect. Okay. Coco, I saw that, and that's from Rosemary. And we say Anthony, blessing, good day. Travel is a good. Oh, here we go. Jesus, travel is a blessing, and it doesn't have to be international. What's this? Promenading? Yes, we're about to promenade here, and Kimmy says, well, that is saying something about the expense of our health care. Yeah, it's the worst in the world. It's expensive. Jazz says, good afternoon, beautiful people. I see you, Jazzy Jazz. I see you. Anthony says, my go-to snack is a baguette with foie. Am I saying it right? Foie mousse and cherries. Ooh, that sounds good. Anything that has cherries.
A rich palate. I see you, Anthony. I see you.
Yeah. Anthony got some taste over there. And Classic C says, she says, enjoy. Okay, but you guys gave me some good information Oh, really? Former Treasury will resign. Okay, well, that's the news that passed in the United States right now. We're passing the Federal Treasury Board. Someone is resigning. Kimmy Kim says, by the way, you know who said he's going lower? Who's going to lower med costs?
We've
Please.
passed that. We've passed that. Let's not even go there.
Yeah, they're not going back to him. So I'm excited. So I will. So tomorrow I probably will not be on live unless I get
And
there
that's
on time.
okay.
Well,
And that's
That's
okay.
fine.
And that's okay. Don't rush. Don't rush.
no,
You know what?
no,
Enjoy the trip. Enjoy the moment.
yeah.
You can share
And I've been
afterwards.
doing it. I've been doing it. I've been videotaping a lot. I've been using my little glasses, and they are such a blessing to be able to be in the
I love seeing
moment
that perspective.
and just clicking and just doing it and just talking to your friends and just it feels so good to be able to do it. So anyway, I'm going to go to dinner I'm going to meet up back with Jessica in a little bit, and my New York in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, my New York in Paris. So we're gonna have a great time this evening, and then I gotta start packing and get ready for tomorrow's train ride. I'm excited, y'all. I'm so excited. Rosemary
Planes,
says
trains, and
bye.
automobiles.
That's right. That's what I'm all about. Rosemary says, bye everyone. Have a good day. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining in. Also, thank you all of you who are watching this, who are new to have subscribed. What I did on my birthday is I took advantage of my birthday and made it also a subscriber season for those that on my, wish me a happy birthday. I invited them to the channel. So when I started this campaign, we were at 826, I do believe. And I think we're now at 860 subscribers. So now we're getting closer to 900. I'm excited that and if anyone's out there to get us to 1,000 and better, tell your friends about what we do here and our conversations, especially our Wednesdays are the best. Our Wednesdays are our highest rated because of just our the free style of just talking and sharing. And so put it out in the world. But I am so thankful that we were able to gain so many subscribers just for my birthday. And so thank you for those that honored my birthday request. And now we're moving up. We're moving on up, y'all. We're moving on up. And so we'll be able to share more. 862, she says now, is 862. There we go. So that's a good increase. And Rashawn says, share the photos. Okay, Jazzy, everybody, thank you so much. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm not gonna do any banners. Just stay tuned. We're here. Love you guys. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for coming on. It's always good to have you here. It's always better when it's all of us together than when it's just one. So we're a team. Love you all. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.